Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have swatches for you from the brand ASP. I don't have my computer on me, so I don't know exactly how many polishes there are, but I believe there's about 30. Some of them are gels and some of them are regular lacquers. You'll be able to tell the difference because the gel bottles are, you can't see through them. I can't think of the word for that right now, but you can see through the polish bottles to see the actual polish. So I have a ton of polishes to show you right now. In the description box below, I will leave a link to their site and their Instagram page, and then I'll leave my Instagram page where you can see more swatches of everything from today's video. These are also available at Sally Beauty, so I will link that down there as well. So we have a ton to look at today, and let's go ahead and get started. So starting with the regular polishes, all of today's swatches of regular polishes will be topped off with their longwear top coat. And up first we have He Makes Me Blush, and this is a super light baby pink cream. So here's our first coat of He Makes Me Blush. This one is pretty well pigmented. It does have some streaking though. The formula is smooth, not too thick or too thin, and these wide round paddle brushes does make it easy to get up close to your cuticle without doing any flooding. So this is building up well in 2 coats. I am going to go in for 3 today. This does dry nice and glossy all on its own. I would recommend that top coat just for longevity. So there is 3 coats. Up next we have Dewdrops, and this is a super light mauve cream. So here is Dewdrops. I did have a pretty wild brush on this one, so excuse that. But I did have a little bit of application issues because of that brush. I did still get full opacity in 2 careful coats though. This one will also dry it nice and glossy all on its own. So there is 2 coats. Up next we have Hot Mess, and this is a very bright pinky red cream. Here is Hot Mess. This one is super pigmented, especially for a red. I find that a lot of reds are more of a jelly than a cream, but this one is a straight up cream. I could have gotten this opaque in 1 coat. I'm just going in for 2 thin ones, and this one, just like the rest, will dry nice and glossy. So there's 2 coats. Up next we have Berry Cool, and this is a raspberry pink cream. Here's Berry Cool. This one does have a more crelly-like feel where it's nice and squishy on the nail. It looks like, you know, jelly, but it is completely opaque for me, also in 2 coats. I didn't have any running, pulling, or staining with anything in today's video either. So there's 2 coats. Up next we have Taupe To Me, and this is a taupe cream. Here's Taupe To Me. So this one is a little bit more sheer on this first coat than anything we've looked at so far, but it is at least a nice even application. I was able to get full opacity in 2 coats still. Depending on your application and your nail length, you might need to go in for 3, and this one will dry glossy. So there is 2 coats. Next up we have Keep Dreaming, and this is a very sparkly silver micro glitter. Here is Keep Dreaming. This is such a beautiful holiday color. You could do this as a topper as well. I'm going to build it up in 3 coats today. This one does have a little holographic flecks throughout it, and it's a very beautiful color. I got full opacity in 3 coats. Nothing in this is going to dry textured, and removal does take a tiny bit of scrubbing. So there's 3 coats. Next up we have It Wasn't Me, and this is a rose gold micro glitter. Here's It Wasn't Me. This one is also a little bit sheer, more opaque than the last one though. I'm going to get full opacity in 2. This one does have glitter, so it does dry with some texture, and removal is going to be more difficult. So there is 2 coats. Up next we have Frosted Caviar, and this is a purpley brown with a very strong gold flash. Here is Frosted Caviar. The shimmer on this one stands out so nicely. A very beautiful shimmer in this polish. Good opacity. I'm going to go in for 2 coats today to finish this off. I would recommend top coat. It does dry decently glossy all on its own, but it will make your manicure last. I also didn't have any residual brush strokes on this one. Next up we have Daydream, and this is a multi-chrome that goes from this like green to a blue to a purple. Here's Daydream. This one's a little bit sheer on this first coat. I am going to build it up to full opacity in 2 today. You could also layer this one over a black and get a similar effect. I did change up my lighting just so I could try to show off some of the shift. I also didn't have any residual brush strokes with this one, and it does dry glossy. And lastly, from this line we have Dark Storm, and this is a super dark gray cream. Here's Dark Storm. This one I did not shake the bottle on. I assume it's a little bit separated, might have been sitting there for a hot second. So I did shake it up between the first and the second coat, and it made for a beautiful second coat application. This one will also dry nice and glossy, but there is 2 coats. Moving on to their gel line, underneath all my swatches, I'll be using the Make It Peelable base coat just so I can pop off the gel swatches as soon as I'm finished with them. And on top of all the swatches, I'll be using their gel top coat. So first we have He Makes Me Blush, and this is actually a kind of more nudie bone cream color as opposed to the Make It Blush in the regular polish line. So here's He Makes Me Blush in the gel form. This one's more opaque in gel than it was in the polish, so I am doing 2 coats of this today. I did cure all of these upcoming polishes in between coats and after, and before top coat and after top coat, because that's how a gel works, but I did not record those. So there is 2 coats. Next up we have Pink Whisper, and this is a super soft pastel pink cream. Here is Pink Whisper. This one is pretty sheer on this first coat. I think this is a good color for a French manicure or to just wear on one coat for a nice clean look. The brushes on the gel polishes are thinner and they don't have the rounded edge like they did in the polish form, but I don't think they're any more difficult to work with or anything. They're still very nice, easy to use brushes. So I got mostly opacity in 3 coats, but I could still make out my nail line if I was looking for it. So there's 3 coats. Up next we have Cafe Au Lait, and this is a beautiful kind of mauve-y nude. Here is Cafe Au Lait. This one has such a soft, dainty little shimmery fleck to it. I think it's stunning. I think it's a nice kind of work appropriate color. Very, very beautiful manicure. It doesn't stand out too well, but it is there enough that you would know it was there. So there is 2 coats. Up next we have Gray versus Gray, and this is kind of a taupey purpley gray with a slight shimmer. Here's Gray versus Gray. This one is a little bit sheer. I'm going to build this one up in 2 coats today. Depending on your preferences, you might want to go in for 3. The shimmer that's in here stands out really nicely. It's not one of those loud in your face shimmers, but it is very noticeable. All of these gels do dry glossy after they're cured, but I would recommend top coat just to keep them lasting. So there is 2 coats. Up next we have Goldent Opportunity, and this is a pinky nude with a gold shimmer. Here's Goldent Opportunity. Again, I think this is such a beautiful, work appropriate, dainty kind of shade. You could, in theory, layer this one as well, but built up on its own, it is so beautiful. The gold that's in here is a larger particled shimmer, so it does stand out much nicer than just a shimmer like the previous polish that we looked at. It kind of looks like it's on top of the polish instead of incorporated, and I think it's a gorgeous look. So there is 3 coats. Up next we have Think Pink, and this is a straight up mauve pink. Here is Think Pink. This one's a little bit sheer, a little bit squishy, kind of more of a jelly-like consistency, but I was able to reach opacity in 2 coats. Depending on your preferences and application, you might want to go in for 3 of this one also. But there is 2 coats. Up next we have Frosted Caviar, and this is about the same almost as the polish line color, but this one is just a little bit darker. Again, it's that brown with the gold shimmer. Here is Frosted Caviar. For some reason with this one, it was pulling away no matter what I did or how much I touched up from my free edge, but otherwise the opacity is there. I got this one opaque in 2 coats. The shimmer that's in here stands out really nicely. It's a very contrasting shimmer, so it is very noticeable. So there is 2 coats. Up next we have Dewdrops, and this one is that purpley mauve cream, and then here it is next to Dewdrops in the polish line, and you can see it's much darker in the gel line. Here is Dewdrops. This one is very opaque here in this first coat, a little bit patchy, so I am going to go in for 2, but opacity is there, especially for a light color, which I can thoroughly appreciate. So there is 2 coats. Next up we have Pinkaboo, and this is a bright, fun pink cream. So here is Pinkaboo. This one's very opaque here on this first coat, a little bit patchy, so I'm going to go in for 2. But again, these formulas on the gels are very easy to work with. They're not too thick like a lot of gels can be. They spread out nice and evenly, and they have good self-leveling properties. So there is 2 coats. Up next we have Passionate Pink, and this is a kind of brighter Barbie pink cream with these gold flakes. Here is Passionate Pink. The little gold flecks that are in here are so beautiful. They're so dainty and delicate, and they've used them in a few of these gels and a couple polishes so far, and I think they're my favorite part of this brand. They are beautiful. This one is totally opaque in 2 coats. Again, I would recommend top coat. So there's 2 coats. Up next we have Ravishing Raspberry, and this is a kind of deeper maroon red cream. Here's Ravishing Raspberry. This one is more of a jelly than a cream, but I did still get full opacity in 2 coats. For some reason, this one was another one that was pulling away from the edges. I don't know if it has to do with me oiling between or the peel off base coat, but it is noticeable for me. Up next we have Coral Cutie, and this is an orangey red base with a shimmer. Here's Coral Cutie. This one is so fun, such a nice summer shade. The shimmer that's in here, it stands out really nicely, and I got good opacity in 1 coat. Completely opaque for me in 2 though. You do want to work in thinner coats just to make sure these cure well. I did cure for 1 minute under an LED lamp. Up next we have Selfish, and this is a red jelly base with a ton of red glitter. Here is Selfish. The glitter that's in here is so beautiful. It disperses nice and evenly throughout the polish as well. This one I did do 3 coats to get full opacity. It does give a similar effect to China Glaze's ruby red pumps, I believe. And it does have glitter, so it's going to be more difficult to remove. So there's 3 coats. Up next we have Got the Blues, and this is a kind of cadet blue cream where it's somewhere in the middle of blue and gray. Here is Got the Blues. This one is such a fun original color, this nice dusty kind of cobalt blue, or cadet blue rather. Very smooth formula. Again, I got complete opacity in 2 coats, and all of these gels have been a joy to work with. So there's 2 coats. And lastly for today we have In the Diamond Lane, and this is a gunmetal gray base full of silver glitter. And here is In the Diamond. The glitter that's in here is so beautiful. It's such a nice contrast to this gray base. Such a kind of holiday shade if you want to be a little bit different with your holiday shades. I got complete opacity in 2 coats, and there's glitter, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult and dry textured. So there's a lot to look at today, a lot of kind of staple polishes for collection. So I don't particularly have a favorite, but I did really like He Makes Me Blush in both the gel and the polish formula. They are slightly off from each other. One's more of a pink and one's more of a bone. So I think out of everything from today, my favorite would actually be He Makes Me Blush, both in the gel and in the polish. And guys, that is it. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of these polishes. Let me know if you plan on picking any of them up, and let me know what your favorite was. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and I will talk to you again next time.